So let's go ahead and put that on the dress form. I'm just gonna fold this over and get a crease. Okay. So the back typically doesn't take quite as long as the front, plus you've already done one with some of the underarm and stuff. But then we need to finish it up and make sure it matches with the front. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is put this right where that horizontal balance line is. And then we'll go straight up to the neck. Okay, and then follow this down. And you don't want to pull too tight. And remember how we add lengthwise ease? How did we add lengthwise ease last time? I'm trying to get this.
Wasn't it measuring it from the bottom of the waist?
Yes, we went, instead of marking the middle, we marked the bottom. Otherwise, if we don't do that, then we'd have to take this and push it up a little bit, and then it gets kind of hard to drape. So I think it's a little easier to just put that in when you're marking. Okay, so I think that's got it. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this straight across, and that should end up right there at that balance line. But I want to make sure that this looks, the guideline I did looks straight, okay? And that I'm putting it down here straight. So let me show you a little bit. What you're going to do is you want to just make sure that it's like, get behind it like we did before, and take your time and just really make sure that looks straight. And then you can ask people if that looks straight. Because if I go like this, can you see how we need to just, if I've got it pinned here, so if I go straight down, and I'm actually gonna do a little bit of slashing here. Does that look like it's straight? Hanging down straight. I know, it does. That's why when you do your dress form, make sure you're right in front, okay? And just, now, there is another clue that we can use. And how big of a dart did we typically have? This is a size 12. So on your slopers, because you know about patterns now, about how big was your dart in the back? About what? Inch and a half. Okay, good. So you guys can rely on that a little bit, and your drafting. So the more you work with patterns, you'll have an eye for that. So if I come over here, and now I need to get this on the princess line, which is right, and see, I've got to make sure I get that. So right here, if I measure that, this is about 5/8. So that's like 1 1/4 inches. Does that seem about right? I hope so. I think it looks okay. We'll find out. Okay, so take your time, make sure you get this right, and then you can go ahead. See, and I'm gonna slash just a little bit more here so that this will spread around the dress form. And then I got to make sure I get that princess line, which is right. You should, if you can't feel it, you can put in something, but I think I got it right there. Okay, so then, but if you look at this, and see, we will check the balance of the side seams. So if we're off, and so I have not used a plumb line before, but I'm gonna try it and see if that helps us a little bit today. So if you look at this, it's not going in the right direction too well. So I've got, here's my princess seam. So if you need to help that along, you can. You can kind of, because, let's see if I've got that right where I need it. So, okay, I'm just gonna, so you can kind of work with this a little bit and kind of follow it up so that you get this headed in the right direction. Okay? All right, and it's still, seeing it's still kind of going off in this direction, which makes me wonder if maybe I need this over a little bit. There. Okay, so I moved it over, gave me a tiny bit bigger dart, but I think this will help. Okay, so you just have to kind of play, you know, get it where you want it. Don't be afraid to redo, take it apart and kind of get that where you want it. Okay, so that looks better. That's, yeah, I'm getting, okay, that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put another pin here just to keep that where I want it. Okay, all right, so we have that. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna go on over to the side seam. Okay, now remember that, oh, this came apart. Okay, remember that we need a 1/4 inch of, and see that's kind of, that's pulling a little bit too much. So it's easy to over form your dress form. So I want to make sure I have a little bit here. So if I go here, that, and you want to pinch out at least 1/8. That's only a 1/4. That's 1 inch of ease. That's not a ton, but it might be what you want. So, okay, so I'm going to put this here. All right, and then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go do the neck now. So I'm here and I'm going to do a little bit of slashing, and I've got to remember that this goes all the way over to here. So be careful that you don't overdo it, okay? I can take a little bit of that off and maybe go down a little bit. Okay, and then I can go ahead and pin it. I'm just gonna, okay. So I'm gonna go along the neck and I'll have to slash a little bit more, but that's a good start. Okay, and then now we have a dart that we're gonna do. Remember the small dart in the back to make a fitted bodice, and you want to give yourself a little bit of a dart, but you don't want to get it too big. So we kind of already know about how big that dart is, right? How big is that dart, would you say, from what you've been working with patterns?
Like 3/8.
What's that?
Like 3/8.
3/8. Well, it's usually about 5/8, 1/2 inch. Close. Yep. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually leave this for a minute, and I'm going to come under here, and I'm going to go right under the plate. Okay. And remember, we put our pins in the other side of our raised seam. And then I am not going to go, if I go straight up like that, then see how I've created this here. All of this that's pointing, I can take off. I can get that right off. Okay? Yeah, yeah. So if it's pointing here, then I can get that off. Okay, now, but I do need some dart there. So how about we, okay, when I pull this up, can you see now it's pointing here? So that's gonna be my dart right there. And this is nice and smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a pin right here at the top. And then I'm gonna go over here to where my dart should be. Okay. And right here. And that, now see, I've got this going on here. So I think I've got a little bit more than I need, because it looks like it wants to come off. And so just bring that off so it's nice and smooth. And then here's my dart, and it wants to follow, we want to follow that princess seam. Okay, so we kind of just fold that down. It looks like I've got a little bit too much there. Okay, so if I go like that, then I can kind of see where it ends right here. Okay, so that's looking good. And now what about this? That looks like it's pulling just a little bit too much. Okay. That's a big, let me get a little smaller pin. Okay, all right, I think I've got it. So that, now, oh, and there's my E's, and this looks nice and tight, but I might have left too much. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna just keep moving so I don't keep fussing too much. Okay, so I think I've got it.